Hey guys, welcome back to Winding Road Magazine. I'm Tedward, and this is the 2020 Durango SRT, and the Hellcat is coming, so it's a good time to revisit where they've been. This has been out since 2017, and I think if you're going to get a Durango, you're going to want the added towing capacity. We'll wait for that. Because with the SRT, you're able to tow 8,700 pounds. If you buy this one, it's probably so you can tow your Viper ACR to the racetrack with a whole bunch of tires. Sounds fantastic. Of course, we love the 392. So you got loads of space back here. It's a 3-row SUV, so plenty of room for the kids and stuff when you need it. Very easy to knock seats down, pop seats up, all that good stuff. We'll leave that down for now. And this one comes in at $76,000. Be pretty easy to knock that down, probably about $5,000 by eliminating the Blu-ray DVD system. Probably don't need that. Your kids can have their iPads. And also this interior package costs quite a bit of money, so if you don't need the Alcantara, the suede, all that stuff, you should be good. But climate control is back here. Nice place to be. Captain's chairs, we like that. One option you should absolutely not overlook are the brakes. You're going to want to get these big brakes, the Brembos. And when we take a look at what we've got over here, proper two-piece floating rotors. How cool is that? And it's helpful because when you're trying to stop a 5,500 pound truck, you might as well upgrade, especially if you're towing. Under the hood, our familiar Scat Pack engine, the 392 Hemi. The 6.4 liter V8 is really a joy. I'm glad this still exists in the world because this is a dying breed. And even though it's got 475 horsepower, I still find myself wanting for more, obviously, because this thing weighs quite a bit. Now the real party trick of this Durango SRT is its launch control. It has a 0 to 60 timer built into the screen. Now this is a little outdated. I had the Gladiator Mojave the other day, and the screens have gotten quite a bit faster. But if you notice, you can actually set it up so it'll do your 0 to 60 times. So if you are planning on conserving this vehicle and trying to baby it, you won't, because number one, this exhaust sounds fantastic and you want to hear it. Not great for fuel economy. And number two, when you have a literal video game in your truck that records your 0 to 60s, hard to resist. Over here, we've got the SRT menu. You can go into, you can set everything up yourself. You can even set the launch control holding engine RPM, which we will test out soon. You can go into track mode, it'll disable traction control, all that fun stuff, sport mode, and then you've got performance pages. This is all kind of slow for modern day stuff, so not my favorite, but it does the thing. You still get all kinds of cool gauges on here, which is nice because a lot of cars, they won't show you your oil temperatures, they won't show you oil pressures, they won't show you G forces, which I think is hilarious in a truck like this. So, you know what, enough talk. Let's go for a drive. spark from that exhaust on the upshifts. This transmission sounds fantastic, 8-speed automatic. And I actually really like the shifter too, because it's a nice classic place to hold your hand. Kind of reminds me of those 70s muscle cars. Got 295 section tires on every corner. Pretty great turning radius. So that's full automatic transmission mode. It's pretty quick to shift. It's not necessarily holding my gear exactly where I want it, but if we put it into the track mode, it would do that. So that was in the sport mode. We've got our SRT menu, like I showed you earlier. I do wish that there was a button on the steering wheel. I don't like having to go through this screen, and maybe on the next generation of these, that will be a little more user-friendly, more like an M button on a BMW. But they make launch control very easy. So now that we're warmed up, let's do one. We don't have to think too hard. Click launch, hard, 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 foot on the brake, full throttle. And there's your 4.8 to 60. Now, some journalist hero with this truck managed to do a 4.6. I have not managed to do that. Maybe it'll just do it in track mode, but that's fine. We don't want to abuse this thing too much, but it sounds great. Overall, cruising in the Durango is a nice place to be. I mean, everything is very intuitive. The steering's direct. The one thing that I would change if I were designing this is the steering wheel is too thick. I think they go overboard sometimes with the thickness of these to make them feel sporty. It's unnecessary, and BMW is guilty of this too. They do that with M cars quite a bit. They put in these big honking steering wheels to make you feel like, oh, you're really grabbing something, but like it's not comfortable. I don't know. I'd like something a little bit smaller. It doesn't need to be like a thin-railed thing from like a 1990s pickup truck, but I don't need to be grabbing this. If you hold the right paddle, it'll go back into drive, and you're set. Knowing you can beat everyone off the line is kind of a nice feature of the Durango. When this light turns green, I'm going for it. Can't believe you're doing this in an SUV this large. It's like doing it in a Ford F-150. It's just outrageous, and it's fun, and it's not uncomfortable. And the gearbox keeps up pretty nicely. I didn't touch any paddles. That was all the car. A little bit of tire squeal, but what do you expect? I mean, a 295 can only keep up with so much. Let's tone her down a little bit. end up with all the nice creature comforts. We've got radar cruise control. You're going to become spatially aware driving this thing because in addition to the 0 to 60 timer, it also has a brake distance timer or brake distance measurement. I mean, you got to use it, right? And you got to make sure there's nobody behind you when you do it. So let's go find a spot where I can actually just stomp on these brakes from 60. This is probably my chance. There's 60 and 123 feet. Not ideal conditions, but hey, in a panic stop, that ain't bad for 5,500 pounds. I think you got to remember when magazines test cars, they're often testing them repeatedly, getting lots of heat in the tires, getting the perfect launch, just abusing them to get those 0 to 60 times, to get those braking distances. I mean, I'm out here in the real world, and on a normal road with no heat in the tires, I'm able to just rip a 4.8 0 to 60 in 123 feet from 60 to 0. That's pretty awesome. All right, guys, thank you. That is the Dodge Durango SRT.